Mr. Ang Wei Nung.
326, sir.
Mr. Speaker, may I take questions 26 to 30 together, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Ang Wei Nung, Ms. Mariam Jaafar, Ms. Cheryl Chan, Mr. Henry Quek, and Mr. Sharil Taha have asked about the recent revision to the ComCare Short Medium Term Assistance, or SMTA, income benchmark, its impact on past and future ComCare applicants, and whether more assistance can be provided. My response will also cover the related parliamentary question filed by Mr. Sharil Taha for the next sitting, which he may consider withdrawing if this has been responded to. Mr. Speaker, ComCare SMTA provides temporary assistance to lower-income households that need financial support to meet basic living expenses. Last month, MSF raised the SMTA per capita household income, or PCHI, benchmark from $650 and below to $800 and below. The PCHI benchmark is not a criterion that once met would automatically qualify a household for SMTA. Eligibility for SMTA is based on a holistic assessment by social service officers, taking into account factors such as household income, savings, and availability of family support. Households with PCHI above the benchmark, therefore, may also qualify for SMTA if their basic living expenses exceed their income. This is why we emphasize that the income benchmark for ComCare SMTA is not a hard threshold to qualify for assistance. Such households would therefore not have been deprived of ComCare assistance if they sought help at an SSO. For example, one of our ComCare households was a single mother and child with PCHI above $650. The SSO provided them with around $100 per month in SMTA cash assistance, in addition to support for their medical bills, utility bills, and services and conservancy charges. Given that the income benchmark is not used to determine SMTA eligibility, we do not use it to project the number of future recipients or assistance amounts. The number of SMTA applicants rose from around 61,000 in 2019 to around 80,000 in 2010 and 82,000 in 2021 at the height of COVID-19, before dropping to around 75,000 in 2022. The number of SMTA applicants from January to June this year is slightly lower than that during the same period last year. The most common reason for unsuccessful ComCare applications in the past 3 years is that applicants had sufficient income or financial support for their basic living expenses. Other reasons include clients withdrawing their applications to apply for other assistance schemes, such as the COVID-19 recovery grants, and clients not submitting supporting documents for ComCare eligibility assessment despite repeated requests from the SSO. The revision in PCHI benchmark is the latest in a number of enhancements that MSF has made to ComCare policies and processes in the past year. In August 2022, we increased the quantum of assistance for households on ComCare SMTA and long-term assistance, or LTA. This is to adjust for increases in the cost of living and projected inflation. This complements, though, other government measures which address cost of living concerns, such as the cost of living special payments under the assurance package in 2022 and 2023. We also made it easier to apply for ComCare by introducing an additional channel for online SMTA applications in May last year. Besides applying in person at SSOs, we continue to regularly review the scope and coverage of ComCare schemes. MSF will also continue to reach out to low-income households, including through our partners, so that those who need assistance are aware of the social support that's available to them. Our partners include members of our SG Cares community networks, other government agencies, social service agencies, grassroots organizations and leaders, and volunteers. We also encourage individuals who need support to call the ComCare hotline at 1-800-222-0000 or approach the nearest SSO or Family Service Center for assistance. On whether income benchmarks of other government schemes would be raised in tandem, various social assistance schemes meet different needs and have different target groups. Agencies incorporate data information from multiple sources when formulating social assistance, including the income benchmarks of other government schemes, to tailor each scheme's eligibility criteria to meet its intent. MSF is also leading a whole-of-government effort to ensure that support for ComCare clients is comprehensive, convenient, and coordinated. For instance, ComCare scheme bundles enable ComCare clients to automatically qualify or be considered for relevant assistance schemes such as MOE's Financial Assistance Scheme, FAS, and MOH Community Health Assistance Scheme, or CHAS. We are expanding this arrangement progressively to cover more schemes and agencies. MSF will continually review and improve ComCare to ensure that social assistance is provided to those who need it.
Mr. Ang Wei Nung.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the comprehensive reply. Can I have three supplementary questions? The first one is that we noted that 75,000 Singaporeans household receive ComCare as short and medium-term margin assistance in 2022. And of the 75,000, how many households have income that's less than 650 per capita, and how many are above? So the second subject question is that we are, of course, very glad that you have increased the PCHI benchmark. And in April this year, I suggested to incorporate a component, inflation component, in determining the amount of assistance to provide to the needy residents as well as the benchmark. So would Minister consider that component so that review annually and not 2-3 years at one go? And my last summary question is that, as what Minister has said, we need to have a whole government effort to help needy residents. So I have two other supplementary questions about the similar PCHI benchmark for the child as well as for the rental flat. Apparently, both will not be answered today. And does it mean that the ministries are not really coordinating this effort? Thank you.
Minister.
On the first question, I don't have the data. If members interested to know the numbers, please file a PQ, because you asked how many of the 75,000 were below PCHI or above PCHI and still receiving the income. I don't have such a data because it was not asked. On the second question, inflation components, was it incorporated? Yes, it is. The changes that we made are to the income benchmark, and this is the 2 to 3 years. And that takes into account data from Department of Statistics on basic living expenses, and of course, after consulting our professionals, the social service professionals on the ground. That's why we'll take 2 to 3 years to get those income benchmark to be reviewed. But like mentioned just now, this income benchmark is not the criteria. It's not a hard threshold. But it is also a way for families to know whether they should or can come for assistance. And then the SSOs will make a holistic assessment to give or not to give them or to point them to other forms of assistance. For the cash assistance itself, we do make reviews regularly, particularly when there are peculiar instances like these last 2 years of increasing inflation. But we do take into account first the packages available from the government, such as at the budget 2023, when DPM Lawrence Wong announced a set of additional one-off support measures to Singaporeans to address immediate cost of living, and this included the 2023 cost of living special payment of up to $400 in cash to provide for this relief. And then on top of that, MSF also announced from 4th April, 30th September, the SSOs provided a minimum of 6 months of support, so without them being reviewed. Minimum of 3 months of additional support to existing SMTA who renewed their assistance, and more cash assistance with more flexible guidelines to cope with the increasing in basic living expenses. So on the fly too, we do that, particularly for adjusting the amount, the quantum that we provide for each family. The one that we make less frequent is the income benchmark, not the assistance given to our clients.
Ms. Cheryl Chan.
Speaker, I want to thank Minister for his reply, and in actual fact, I want to also comment because I think SSO has been extending a lot of help to those who are in need. In particular, I just want to raise one SQ on 2 particular cases, right? First and foremost, if any help can be given, for example, for seniors whom we know while they have got family members and their support, or sort of deemed support, because we always feel that family should be the first line of support. But unfortunately, not everyone is blessed to have families who really want to support them. So I think for this kind of seniors, because of their age as well, do we need them to go on that quarterly basis every 3 months to go for interviews, to ask and repeat their cases and situation again? While I understand it's about public funds and needs good governance, can we do more to help the seniors? That's the first. The second group of individuals are those, while they may not be senior in age, but we believe they have some level of mental condition, and it's very unlikely that they will find long-term employment. Can more be done from SSO? Thank you.
Minister.
Like I mentioned, when we ship out the financial assistance for all the archetypes, we take into consideration to the available support already given to them. And one area that's, or one consideration that we don't want to lose, 2 considerations we don't want to lose, particularly for the younger families, is agency. We want them to also trust that they want the dignity to take care of themselves, do better, and therefore, as much as we want to give them the fish, support is also given for them to learn to fish. And we know many have actually succeeded. For the more senior ones, there are many supports given to them, particularly if they're in the PG or MG, which already alleviate a lot of the financial outlay that they would have made, given the circumstances they are in. I would urge members to not dismiss the importance of families and not make it, I would say, too easy, because families just don't want to come forward and not support their seniors. I think it's our duty as children to first be providing them the needs as much as our parents have sacrificed for us when we were growing up. We too have that duty to provide for them in their old age. Therefore, in that spirit too, is why SSOs want to make sure that children can and try to support their seniors, and we will not take too long to decide that we can't wait for this to happen to support the seniors. But some subjectivity will occur in such assessment.